What is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade basketball analysis. I know the draft lottery was yesterday. I got the list. Um, I'm only doing a lottery, so 1 through 14. Um, the Magic got the number one pick. I'm gonna go through this quick because I still got to do the 30 through 60. Um, Chet Holmgren is the consensus number one pick. To me too, I got him going to Orlando. The tricky part about Orlando, they got way too much talent. They already got Wendell Carter. They already got Mo Bamba. They already got a bunch of wings like Isaac, um, like Franz Wagner, who is all rookie first team. Um, they also do have a bunch of guards on this roster, and I really don't know what they're going to do. This is a big draft for the Magic, honestly, because they had a season, like I said, throughout the entire season where they're trying to figure out um, at the end of the day what works and what doesn't work. I said that on multiple rundowns throughout the last 2 years, specifically for the Magic. Um, they really do have to figure out what they're going to do in the future with all this young talent. I think the injuries suck, but it gave them more time to evaluate what works, what doesn't work, and also who they really want to build this franchise around. Obviously, getting the number one pick, a guy like Chet that can defend the rim, that can space the floor, that really is coachable and has huge potential and upside, probably the most, honestly, in this entire draft. And he's healthy throughout his entire career, even in Gonzaga for the most part. To me, Chet is obviously number one. OKC is a little tricky to me. They still lack shooting. They do got Giddy. He was all rookie second team. They do still have other guys on this roster like Shea. I don't really like this roster for the most part because they have a lot of raw talent like the Magic. Just the Magic talent is obviously better. They looking to me for more offense. Jabari Smith. Um, you do got Keegan Murray if you want to go with more of a shooter. Not really an ISO player that you want to run your offense through, but you do have Shea for that to share the responsibility, or primary can still be Shea for the most part. So that makes sense. But Keegan is more of a hit a couple threes, rebound, and play a Pacific role. Not really a franchise player, more of a complimentary player. And when you got a guy like Shea that can get to the basket, create. You got a guy like Keegan who can snipe from the 3 point line, can crash the boards, can hit mid range, can play off the ball. Um, to me, he's definitely top five, regardless of where he go. Jamari Smith can do similar, just not as physical, not as good as a rebounder either, and not nowhere near as good of a 3 point shooter as Keegan. But Jabari is more of a stationary player to me. But I'm lower on Jabari Smith than other people, like people know throughout my mock draft history. But um, if they feel like Jabari is their guy, work them out, try them out, and go with the best option if you OKC. But if they feel like the best option for them is Jabari Smith, then I just do the evaluation. They do the picks. Three, I got Houston getting Jaden Ivey. I'm low on Michael Porter Jr. at the point guard position, not as a player, just as a point guard. Maybe a six man. Jaden Ivey makes sense there. Athletic, just like Green. Young, can develop and grow together is their goal. I don't make the picks or the selections. I just evaluate and analyze the talent. Four is tricky for Sacramento. I am a believer that they should trade down and possibly you can get Shaden Sharp lower in this draft possibly, but if you know for sure that's your guy, you pick him fourth. If you feel like you can get him, if you trade the pick, then somebody else will pick there, which means they won't pick that player. Then you trade down right there. But if you know for sure you don't like nobody else, Shaden Sharp is a good pick at four. And remember, Harrison Barnes played a four position, not the guard position. Shaden Sharp is 6'6", 6'7". He can play the 3. Dante DiVincenzo is on the Sacramento Kings. He can play the 2. And De'Aaron Fox is obviously the point guard, and Sabonis is their center. Keegan Murray, I do have him. If OKC prefer Jabari, Keegan, and Cade is perfect fit to me, and they're around the same age, so that makes sense. AJ Griffin, I don't like AJ Griffin at all, honestly, but they do have Chris Duarte. He was a little injury prone, which is bad, especially because he's an older rookie. They still do have TJ Warren. People forget that they can still keep him another season if needed, but I think they should go younger. Honestly, because TJ Warren is more of a veteran, maybe they should let him go and probably take AJ Griffin at 6, who is younger, and they can develop him as that 3 guy, possibly D. To me, not really a good mid-range or scorer at all. Plus, I still got to see it at the NBA level, and you still got to see if the defense translates at the NBA level too. So that's something to keep an eye out. If you're an Indiana fan, I have MarJon going to Portland. They're looking for a wing, and I know a lot of people are going to be surprised, but MarJon was a lottery pick. I seen him at Cleveland. He was in the rookie. I think he was at the Rising Star Challenge game. Yeah, with Cade. So, well, Cade won the MVP. That's why I said it like that. But he was in that game. I seen him play in that game. But I got MarJon going to Portland because if AJ Griffin's off the board, Keegan's off the board, Jabari is off the board, and AJ Griffin is off the board. If they are, I'm saying, if they want a wing and they can't get a veteran one, maybe they go with MarJon. Like if you get rid of Dame or he wants to leave, maybe Simons and MarJon is there to be the 3, and he can play the 2, and he can play some 4. So maybe MarJon is better than what people think for Portland, especially when you look at all the wings that's already gone at that size. Maybe you just go MarJon, regardless if Dame leaves. Anthony played more of the point when CJ and Dame was out, and Anthony and Dame can play together. We've seen it. I don't know if it's going to win you a lot of games or it's going to make you a championship team. But if you're looking for youth and you want to put Dame to, Brooklyn or in New York, maybe Anthony stays and you just go with a wing like MarJon Beauchamp. 8, I got Jeremy. He's a power forward. To me, I think the Pelicans need a defender. Yeah, I think they need a defender at the 4. They got Brandon Ingram at the 3. They already got CJ at the 2. They already got Jonas at the 5. I think they need a little bit more for the 4. They got Trey Murphy to come off the bench. They still do got Herb Jones. They got enough when it comes to youth. They just don't have a 4. And I think Jeremy is the right 4 for New Orleans. And then they still got youth already, as we've seen in the playoffs. And those guys will be cheap to keep, especially if they trade Zion. Now, if that trade happens, then you don't need a 4. But even if it does, this pick might be gone anyway. So then it really wouldn't matter because you get your power forward anyway, and then you have to trade this pick. And you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, if that trade goes through, you can get your 4 in Jeremy, or you can get it with Miles Bridges, or you can get it with LaMelo Ball. If not, your 4 will be Zion. So you will need this pick anyway. But we really don't know what's going to happen with Zion. That's why I said it that way. But that's the only reason why. 9, Jaden Hardy to San Antonio. Makes sense. DeJounte, still not a great shooter, but improved. Hard worker, good motor, good playmaker, good rebounder. Just need a little bit more firepower and a little bit more scoring. I watched a lot of Jaden. He was in G League tonight. He improved as a passer as the G League season went on. Was a 20-point scorer in the G League. Strong, good body, good handle for his age and for his level, but is a project. This guy is explosive. He can get to the basket. Streaky as a mid-range scorer. Streaky as a three-point shooter. Streaky as a playmaker, but he's very young. He's supposed to be raw because he needs to be developed. Great coaching staff at San Antonio in San Antonio. They proved that with Kawhi Leonard and DeJounte Murray, who was an all-star. I seen them play in the all-star game. I seen them chilling in the all-star weekend, too. I was chilling, too. Yo, I seen Fred VanVleet and DeMar DeRozan chilling. That was the rookie-sophomore game. I was there chilling, too. But I seen them in the all-star game chilling. Yeah, I seen that was Saturday night. They played Sunday was the All-Star game. That was Saturday. But they was chilling. But Benedict Mathurin, I got him going to Washington. That's going to surprise a lot of people because a lot of people say Bradley Beal is going to stay. If he does, I think it's a good thing. I never was a person that said Bradley Beal need to rush out of Washington, but they still need more firepower. I've been saying that every year. If Rui can't play and they got rid of Bertans and you don't really know if Kristaps going to stay healthy, you still do need more firepower. And I think I'm not crazy over Benedict, but he can get some buckets. He kind of remind me of a Jason Terry, where he can come in, hit some shots, make some plays, cause some chaos offensively. And you need those type of guys, especially off the bench. And I think Benedict can do that, especially for Washington. And if it don't work out, honestly, with Bradley Beal, whether it's this year or next year, at least you got somebody that can possibly give you some of that scoring. And you don't really know what they're going to get if they do trade them, but you still need to cover your back too if you're the Wizards. Plus, I think that's fine because Benedict can play a little point. He did that in Arizona, so to me that can still work out for them too. Honestly, because he did play some point honestly at Arizona too. Paolo, I got him going all the way down to the Knicks. Most of these teams already got fours. Most of these teams already got threes. Paolo is a good scorer. He is a good creator. He can dunk. He can score, but a little outdated. Most guys want three-point shooters. Paulo is below average compared to all other small forwards ahead of him at the college level. Plus, he is more of a bucket getter than a food setter. He is more of a bucket getter than anything else. So the Knicks need scoring off the bench. Well, Washington they could, but they got Kyle Kuzma right now, so it wouldn't really make sense. No, the Knicks is going in a rebuilding direction. The Washington going in more of a playoff now. That's why they made the Porzingis trade. Well, Bradley Beal was injured for the second half of the season, so that's why I gotta get this done. 12. I got Jalen Duran going to OKC. Yeah, Pokashevsky. He's still raw, still not ready. I think Jalen Duran gives them more of an NBA ready player, can protect the rim, plays hard, set screens, can make the job easier for Shea, can make the job easier for Jabari, can make the job easier for Keegan Murray or any scorer or wing that they have. When you set screens, it gets them open for threes, gets them open for mid-range, and they already have Shea as a playmaker there. And it could also help him too. So to me, it really don't matter what they do. They have a bunch of picks in the second round too. They can get centers like Christian and those guys in the second round if they don't want to draft one that high. Plus, they can always just trade this pick and trade down, get Jalen later in the draft, and get something else. So, they can do all those things. OKC has so many picks that at the end of the day, it really don't matter what they do as long as they get the guys that they want. That's the whole point of the draft. Mark Williams, I have him going to the Hornets. Not a defensive guy, more of an offensive guy. He is more of an Al Jefferson, not as good as Al Jefferson because Al Jefferson played in the NBA a couple years at that point when he went to Charlotte. That's the biggest difference. He works with Zion because he's more of an offensive center. Well, you can Zion will be the 4, so you can have him at the 5. I don't really know if that trade is going to happen or if it goes through until it's official. But if they still have guys like Miles Bridges and LaMelo Ball still on their roster, they can go with Jalen Duran there. They can go with other centers, like I said. They can draft them lower in the first round. They can trade down in the draft. They can get a center like Christian, other centers they know out of Arizona later in the second round. But a lot of these positions are already filled. So I'll just tell them my personal opinion. They're going to draft whoever they want anyway. And then 14, I got Malachi going to Cleveland. They have Karras, but Karras is not a long-term fix there. Plus, they already got a shooting guard there that's more of a defender. He hasn't developed offensively yet, and he's been in the NBA for a couple years now. So you still probably want a scorer off the bench that can grow with this nucleus. In Cleveland, obviously they have Evan Mobley. Obviously, they also have everybody already know they was at the All Star game, and they already have a center that was an All Star this year because of the All Star game in Cleveland. That's how I know, and Jared Allen. So to me, they already have the center position full. They already have Evan Mobley. They already, yeah, they have him too. So, that's the end of this video. I'm still going to go Malachi there just because I don't think Karis LeVert is a permanent fit there. He did the best he could, but they just, it happens in the NBA. And Malachi, to me, is more of a long-term fit off that bench for them. And if he becomes a starter, he becomes a starter. That's their decision, not mine. Other than that, Quinn Wade Basketball and Austin signing out. Hope y'all enjoy the evening and see y'all later.